In Hollywood, not everything that is filmed ends up on the screen.
Tissue paper.
White tissue paper? Sitting on a coffee shop?
That's not a take, it's an outtake.
You know,
And so is this.
All day once.
Don't touch me.
You're my husband. Uh-oh. Oh, you are? All right, start again. Wait, put that gun down.
You give me that treaty or I'll kill you.
Put that gun...
When a prop gun won't work, it means this footage is destined for the cutting room floor. And so is this scene from Young Frankenstein, when Gene Wilder can't keep a straight face.
Now listen to me very carefully. Don't put the candle back. With all of your...
It's an outtake, one of those rare moments when Hollywood's caught off guard.
Test 55, take one.
And then there are those private screen tests which you've never seen before. Tests with major stars like Michael Caine, Richard Burton, Mia Farrow, and Grace Kelly. There are even entire scenes that only the studio knows exist, like this one with Liza Minnelli, and this one with Shirley Temple and Jimmy Durante. So stay with us, because you're about to see your favorite stars in some of Hollywood's best-kept secrets, and we can guarantee you that you've never seen this before.
Like this, we can't. I know we can't. Cut!
In Hollywood, a take can become an outtake when something goes wrong in front of the camera, and almost anything can go wrong.
Thanks very much, all the same.
It can be a star as professional as Gene Wilder, who finds the situation as funny as we do and simply can't keep from laughing.
Dr. Frederick Frankenstein, newly arrived from America.
Oh, yes, sir. I was told you were here. Well, I'm Constable Henry, sir. Pleased to meet you.
How very nice to meet you, Constable.
Oh, you're chilled to the bone, sir. A nice warm fire be the thing for you.
Yes.
A nip out of the old bottle wouldn't be such a bad idea either, would it, sir?
That's the ticket, yes.
Well, if you have everything in hand, I'll say good night, sir.
Thank you very much, Constable.
At your service, sir. Always. Good night, sir.
Yep, an outtake. We'll have to shoot it again.
Cut.
Sometimes an outtake occurs when a costume or prop refuses to work.
Hello, come here! Come here! Hello!
Other times, a line of dialogue becomes an actor's worst enemy.
The next time you pull any rough stuff in front of the servants, I'm gonna... Damn you, don't worry.
Oh, it does. It changes my whole... oh, damn it.
Well, if you don't think your daughter is a lucky girl, let me tell you, my great...
But remember, compelling... Oh, isn't it silly? Of all the men in the world, he would be the last. Where are you going?
To find him. He's nuts.
Be seated. Our Father, please sanctify this food which we're about to receive. And,
I almost forgot what I come for. Funny, isn't it, I should forget now. Nuts!
Couldn't you shut your eyes and pretend I'm
All right,
nurse.
good. I thank God my son was active in this great event. Oh, Mr. Chandler's Chance Club, sir.
I told him.
You won't go after him.
You cannot get far. Cannot conceal yourself.
And if you can't succeed, try again.
To a 3-inch gun, which is to be mounted on the rear deck, after deck, poop deck, let her go. Well, gentlemen, we're about to drink a toast to a 3-inch gun, which is to be mounted on the after deck of the old Galloping Goose, the East End Wind Sweetheart Nuts. Well, gentlemen, we're about to drink a toast to a 3-inch gun, which is to be mounted on the after deck of the old Galloping Goose, the East Wind Sweetheart.
Even when the line is right, something else is bound to go wrong.
So, you're the Pat.
Today, even the most accomplished actors have the same problems with props or dialogue. Take, for example, the stars of the hit television series MASH.
All right, that does it. The irresistible force is about to polish it. There he goes again.
We can't even have a good argument in peace.
All right, that does it. The irresistible force is about to polish off the... Stop laughing at me. The irresistible force is about to polish off the immovable object. You know what you've done, don't you? You convince yourself you can outperform everybody in this camp and not crack under the strain. Well, as a veteran of sleepless nights, irregularity, and no sleep, let me tell you that... Take your shots out from under the wheels. Flaps up. No offense, Margaret. We're off.
Back the engine.
Oh, yeah, I always forget that part.
Put it in gear.
This is one of those practical jokes.
Okay, cut. Just because a scene is filmed without any mistakes doesn't mean it'll be in the completed movie.
Morale is the gal that you're fond of. Morale is the pal at your side.
Morale was an important part of the movies during World War II. That's why June Haber sang this song in Where Do We Go From Here? Then why was the scene dropped? When production began in late 1944, who was to know that the war would be over by the time the film opened, and morale was no longer a burning issue?
It's everywhere but nowhere unless it's in your heart.
Don't be so shy, Jimmy. Here's your big chance to tell the world what you have done for the dance. Your Honor, this man is the biggest of them all. Why, he's been doing dances since the Doc Tunstrutter's ball.
Musical numbers are often dropped from films primarily for reasons of length. Even the best performers have had scenes snipped, including Shirley Temple and Jimmy Durante. This charming number had to be deleted from Little Miss Broadway.
And why are they passe? Because we've got something new. Mark it Exhibit A, and we'll show it to you.
Exhibit A!
Exhibit A!
Come on, Jimmy, take it away.
It's just a hop, skip, jump, and slide. Now tip your hat as though you're saying bye-bye. Stop, look, straighten your tie. That's the expression. Eyes to the sky, and it's the hop, skip, jump, and slide. That's the dance of tomorrow today.
Yes, sir.
That's the dance of tomorrow today.
You hadn't touched a bite?
My mind was not on food.
This is not just a scene which didn't make it into a film. The whole movie was canceled. In 1954, this elaborate test was shot for Lord Vanity with Robert Wagner and Joan Collins. But because costume dramas were not doing very well at the box office, the entire project was scrapped to the tune of $1.5 million, which would be nearly $5 million today.
More beautiful than any woman I've ever seen.
You are watching Tyrone Power's final appearance before the cameras, and this version of Solomon and Sheba has never been seen by the public. In 1958, Tyrone Power died before the film could be completed.
In the past, I have overlooked your hatred of me because of your great value to Israel, and because I pledged our father never to turn against you.
I asked for no such pledge.
But tonight, you tried to kill more than your brother. You raised your hand against your king and against the life of Israel.
You and your Sheba have defiled the fair name of Israel. I sought only to preserve my country from your contamination.
You sought only the throne, as you have never ceased to seek it. But since the blood of David flows in your veins, as it does in mine, I give you your life. But I banish you from Israel, never to return.
Once before you robbed me of my birthright, but this time I'll not be denied.
Sheathe your sword, brother. I will not break the pledge I made to our father.
I'll sheathe it to your heart.
During the shooting of this sword fight, Power suffered a fatal heart attack, and he was replaced by Yul Brynner. Even though 25% of the feature had already been completed, the entire movie had to be reshot with a new star. What you are watching is a plot by studio executives to get Marilyn Monroe to do a film.
When I stepped out on the stage at a very early age, I didn't know the dimmers from the brights. But the critics were impressed because I happened to be dressed in pink tights.
In 1953, Monroe was to star in Pink Tights, a lavish musical comedy, but the script didn't meet with her approval. When she refused to star in the film, the studio tested Sherry North for the part, hoping that it might convince Monroe to do the picture. Marilyn was still not convinced. Pink Tights was never made, but a new star was born. Sherry North's career had begun.
I couldn't talk, but they just kept applauding me, and he just kept rewarding me. Though I never speak a line, still the starring part is mine. I make an entrance and the stage ignites. My talent is a sin, but who needs talent in pink tights?
In a moment, Liza Minnelli, Burt Reynolds, and more of Hollywood's best-kept secrets. In the movies, the screen test is very often played just for laughs.
4,011?
Yes, sir.
I did 4,011 screen tests this week?
Yes, sir.
I thought I did 4,018 screen tests.
No, sir. It's 4,011. I've been keeping track.
We're falling behind again.
Duty calls. Goodbye, Brelou.
Farewell, beloved. Oh, Mammy, he's gone.
I just saw another girl tested for the Viola Jansen part.
Well, how was she?
What a performance. We'll have to fumigate the projection room.
Action, Mr. Valentine!
For the actors and actresses in front of the camera, real screen tests are a serious business because they can mean the difference between winning or losing a role.
Test 55, take one.
Have you worn one of these things before, Michael?
I've worn them in plays, and I don't dig them too much.
In 1964, a young Michael Caine tries out for a part in those magnificent men and their flying machines. This interview is a part of his test.
What about this flying business? Have you ever flown a plane?
No, I never flown one myself.
Would you?
No.
Have you any ambitions that way?
No, none at all.
So, I mean, if you had the chance, you wouldn't want to be flying any of ours?
Oh, no, certainly not any of yours.
If you can't remember Caine in the film, don't blame your memory. He lost the part to another actor, James Fox. But it turned out to be a lucky break for Michael Caine. Had he been making this film, he probably wouldn't have gotten the leading role in The Ipcress File, a film which brought him international stardom. An actress in a screen test is sometimes nothing more than a pretty face. But this pretty face didn't hurt Grace Kelly's chances of landing her first screen role in a 1951 film entitled 14 Hours. And this is how movie audiences saw Grace Kelly for the very first time.
Officer, are we going to be able to get through? I've got an important appointment. I'm late now.
They expect you today, dear. You better walk.
Although her entire performance lasted only 5 minutes, it wouldn't be long before Grace Kelly would graduate to bigger roles and eventually win an Oscar for Best Actress in 1954.
What do you do
When you think you love someone. No. When you stop loving someone. Or they stop loving you.
Performers learn very quickly that you test for more roles than you get. In this case, a 19-year-old newcomer, Mia Farrow, tries out for her first movie role in The Sound of Music.
How can you, child? Sometimes I feel the world is coming to an end.
And then you feel it's just beginning.
Yes. It was that way for me, Liesel. And for you, dear, it'll turn out just as wonderful.
Mia lost out to Charmian Carr. And here is a typical Hollywood irony. After making one of the most popular movies of all time, Miss Charmian Carr married and retired from the screen.
You are 17, going on 18. I'll depend on you.
You'd think that once a star is well established, there aren't any more screen tests, right? Wrong. On nearly every film, there are still tests for makeup and costumes.
The stories are almost always sad and usually about love. What in so many bad English novels is called unrequited love. Now, this one is called The Kite. In India, when a boy wants to tell a girl he's interested in her, he maneuvers his kite so that it falls into the correct front yard. Whatever else I say, I do not know, but I'm getting on. Thank you.
By the time this scene from The Rains of Ranchipur was filmed, Richard Burton not only knew his lines, but now he had Lana Turner to assist him.
They each have a story, you know. The stories are almost always sad and usually about love. What in so many bad English novels is called unrequited love.
The torment of love unsatisfied.
That's very good.
But not very original. A poet named Eliot said it first. Mr. T.S. Eliot.
I am familiar with the works of Mr. Thomas Stearns Eliot. This one is called The Kite. In India, when a boy wants to tell a girl he's interested in her, he maneuvers his kite so that it falls into her front yard. If she picks it up and takes it inside, he is elated because he knows he has a chance. If she leaves the kite there, it means that she cares nothing for the boy and he is desolate.
Of course, everyone remembers the all-time spectacular Cleopatra, starring Elizabeth Taylor as the Queen of Egypt. Before filming began, however, 20th Century Fox had tested someone else for the part. Joan Collins. This rare footage is her test for that film. Care to see how Cleopatra might have looked without Elizabeth Taylor?
Alexandria. Well, that's a noble present.
Yes. But I want something greater in exchange. Rome. And through Rome, the world. If you were a king, your son would reign after you.
I have no son.
Then get one.
And people have said that I am ambitious.
Why? Don't you love me? Don't you want Egypt? Don't you want the world?
The sequence you are watching was cut from Call of the Wild by popular demand.
And I got you hog-tied, ain't I? Now go ahead, beat me up. You can't get nothing on me, you big lout. Everything I told you was wrong. I just thought around here so I could burn that map up. You want to find a place, go ahead and find it. You won't find it in a million years.
When the film was previewed, audiences were terribly upset seeing Jack Oakey get killed. So in an effort to save the film, studio head Darryl Zanuck decided to drop the entire 7-minute sequence and reshoot a new ending to reunite Oakey with his friend, Clark Gable. This is the film as it was released, and audiences didn't mind that Oakey had shaved his beard and lost weight.
Yeah! Shorty! Hello,
It was a case where the audience had its say and saved Jack Oakey's life.
Hey, you ain't a bad-looking kid. If I didn't have somebody coming in tonight, I might just ask you what you was doing later.
Your boyfriend bringing this stuff in?
Oh, better than that. I got 2 of them taking me home.
You've never seen this ending to Lucky Lady before. And why? The studio didn't think you'd want to see it.
Wait for me.
Yeah, come on, that's right.
Oh, you better stay back.
Ray! Ray! Look out, Ray! There's Victor Navins all over the beach! Run, Ray! Run! They're everywhere!
All right, hold it right there. There's room for it. I said hold it right there. Let him have it. We're right in the middle of somebody else's war.
The studio decided that audiences wouldn't want to see superstars Burt Reynolds and Gene Hackman killed, so they were brought back to life.
Well, now I suppose you're both going to be so swell-headed you won't be able to get your hats on. I just hope you ain't too hard to live with.
Blue skies. Gonna be smooth sailing.
Have we forgot something?
Well, here's to happy endings. And that's Hilda... let me do it again. And that's Hollywood.